to I'll Knit With You. My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as EvilTwin2. You can find show notes on the blog, owlknitwithyou.blogspot.com. Our group on Ravelry is called Owl Knit With You, all spaced out. And if you want to email me, you can email me owlknitwithyou@gmail.com. No spaces. Hi, how are my owls and my yous? How have you guys been? I have been moving nonstop since the last podcast. Most of that moving has not been knitting stuff, which is kind of a bummer, but you know, it's what it is. But let's greet our new Franz first. We have Lolita, who is Jenny from Canada. Hello. And we have Maddie Spinner, who is Maddie from Massachusetts. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have not done so yet, head on over to Ravelry to our group and introduce yourself in the introduction thread so we can all get to know you. If you host a podcast, check out the Hey, I'm a Podcaster thread. And if you're a Hexy Puff knitter, check out the Strut Your Puffs thread and show me your puffs. Because I need to knit more Hexy Puffs, but I get really inspired by the ones that I see on there. I still need to figure out how to duplicate stitch. That's just something I've not sat down to figure out because it just looks like a lot of extra work. But I think it's something that I would like to learn how to do sometime. Anyway, neither here nor there. Before I get to my big, exciting life news, Halloween. How was your guys' Halloween? I ended up not doing very much. I wore my Harley Quinn outfit, which is really just like long pajamas. Like they go down to my ankles and they go out to my wrists. It's a very like cozy pajama costume. So I went to one of my friend's house and we played Exploding Kittens all night, and then we watched a couple of episodes of Ghost Adventures, which is my favorite show to hate. It's on Netflix if you want to check it out. It's like a ghost hunting show, but it's just like really over the top, and it's like if a bunch of fraternity dudes went out and went ghost hunting because they'll say stuff like, "Come at me, ghost, do you want to fight me right now? Come smack me." And I'm just like, this is the weirdest show I've ever watched. And so we watched that, and we watched Housebound. Housebound is one of my current favorite UK scary movies. It's got a lot of laughs, and it's got some thriller moments, but it's never like, oh, I can't sleep because this is freaking me out, which is the kind of scary stuff I don't like. That doesn't mean I don't watch it, but I don't like it as much. But it was really good, and I think they enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it, and they're all film nerds, so we enjoyed like some of the shot stuff, and had a few laughs during Ghost Adventures. So that was really fun. And then, okay, so that would have been not very long after I talked to you. And then the people's house that I was visiting is my friend and her boyfriend, and her boyfriend, they both work with me. Her boyfriend had been looking at a job in New York, and he got it, which is awesome. I'm super excited for them. But he was above me at work, and so instead of hiring someone new, they bumped me up to that position, which I have a lot of stuff to learn for. And so the last 2 weeks he was here, I just like followed him around constantly, tried to learn everything that he could do. I couldn't learn everything, but I mean, as much as I could. It's a lot of IT stuff that I've not done before. I've done a lot of like IT assistant stuff. Like I help fix the emails, and you know, if you can't figure out where to click something, I can usually figure that out. But now I am like one of two main IT people, kind of, basically. Yeah. And it's really scary. But I'm also really excited because it's kind of like solving a bunch of puzzles every day. I get to have a lot of fun. And I think I'll still be able to do my creative stuff and promotions, which I do for the place I work at as well. I make little video ads for us. So that's been a lot. It's been a lot. And it also means that I'm constantly on call, basically. And it's not the same as like being on call if you're like a nurse or whatever, because you like, that's more life or death, obviously. But mine is like IT on call. So like if there's an issue, I live 5 minutes away from the place that I work, and I would just go over there and I will have to fix it. If they call me at 5 in the morning, or if they call me at 5 at night, I will answer my phone. I've already had a couple issues where I've had to like go on a little earlier than I was planning on. To take care of some stuff. It's not been too bad yet, but, you know, it's been really exciting and fun. But it also means that I've had zero time to do anything because I've been learning a bunch of new stuff. I mean, I would leave work so exhausted. I would, like, come home and sleep, or come home, watch one TV show, like, zoned out, like, half paying attention, and then get up and go to work and leave work, or sometimes, like, go hang out with a friend for an hour and not even come home. Like, I come home to eat and sleep. So, I've been doing a lot of stuff with my friends lately too. So I don't know if you've ever heard of a show called Gravity Falls. I may have mentioned this last time, but whenever there's a new episode out, one of my friends from work and I watch it. So we've been doing that, and then on Wednesday nights I've been watching movies with another one of my coworkers, and we started the Harry Potter series. So we've got 2 movies in, and we were going to do 3 this week, the 3rd movie, but we did not have time because I was exhausted, and there was a storm coming in, and she's a meteorologist, so that was not going to work out. But it has been a ton of fun, and it's really cool to go watch them again. I really need to reread the books. But it's been a pretty good time. So that is what I've been up to. It's not a very exciting thing. I mean, it's exciting to get a promotion, but it's not like, oh, and I went here and I did this thing and look at my stash that I'm bringing home. It's less knit life and more responsible adult life, which, you know, I guess it's good every once in a while. I've started wearing scarves, which is not a thing that I used to do. Trying it out. This one has bicycles on it. Let me unfurl it for you. It was a Target clearance item that someone had returned. Bicycles. I think this is sideways, but still a bicycle. You can still see it. So that's exciting and adult-like. I've been wearing boots and scarves and drinking. Okay, so that's a thing. I gave up coffee, kind of by accident. So, in the process of learning all the stuff for him, I kept getting headaches really bad because I wasn't drinking enough coffee, and that is the point always. Whenever I'm starting to get caffeine headaches, that I stop drinking coffee. I'll have like one bad day, and then I'm usually okay after that. And so I had my one bad day, and I didn't have coffee for like 3 days, and then I had a gingerbread latte at about 7 p.m. after not having coffee for 3 days, and I did not go to sleep until 7 a.m. because caffeine makes me really productive. And I was home, and my room was a wreck because I'd not had time to do anything. I'd just been coming home and sleeping, and so there was just clothes everywhere, and my computer desk was a mess, and I didn't want to craft because I felt like I needed to clean instead. And so I just, in one night, did all of it. I even downloaded an app to help organize my closet, and so I took pictures of like everything that's hanging in my closet, which is kind of ridiculous, but I did it. And I've been using it a lot, and then hopefully in a couple months I'll see what pieces I'm not wearing, and I can donate a whole bunch of stuff, which would be cool. But I don't know if I needed to do that at 3 in the morning, but I sure did. But it's just been a lot of like, blah, 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 blah. So, exactly like that. That's exactly what it's been like. But I did finish some things. I haven't done any spinning, which bums me out because I've really been wanting to lately. I just cannot get myself to zone in and sit down and do it. But let's start off with a couple of whips. So I had showed you my owl, which is the Plum Rondo a la Turk sweater out of some Lorna's laces. In their worsted weight, I believe it's a superwash. Well, I don't have the tags with me right now. I'm currently using size, I just unscrewed my interchangeable, size 7 needles. Knit picks, interchangeables. I'm trying to do better about telling you guys what I'm using because I feel like that inspires me on other podcasts, and I'm not doing it for you guys, and that doesn't seem fair. That that's what inspires me, then that's what I should be sharing. So, this is my Lorna's laces. If you would like to know colorways, they are on my project page. But I had knit about this much. I'm going to hold it upside down so the needles aren't in the top. I had knit about this much the last time I talked to you guys. But I didn't like the way the increases looked on the back. They had huge gaps next to where I had decreased. And now they do not. So I have gone from doing every row decreases. I did my math wrong. Like pretty bad. I was all done with my decreases, and it should have been right under my bust. You can't see what I'm pointing at. If this is my head and this is my waist, it should have been like right under my bust. Let's say my bust is here. But it was like halfway. It was like not tall enough. So I just tinked. Well, I didn't tink it all back. I picked up the row above my color work, and then I just frogged it. So I got pretty much every stitch. I had to pick up a couple of little ones that I missed, but you know, that happens. But I would rather have a well-fitting sweater than a sweater done sooner. I think if I'm going to knit something, it's worth the time to take it back and fix it. So it doesn't look like a lot of progress has been made, but I've knit this blue swath of section twice. So it could be twice as tall, but it's not. And I've been working on this when I'm at home, so that's exciting. I started 2 pairs of socks. They're both at different stages. This pair of socks is out of the, I think it's also Lorna's Laces who does the Zombie Barbecue colorway. which I bought from Eat Sleep Knit, and like because I've been wanting it forever, and so I'm hoping to get. I started both pairs of socks within November, so I'm hoping to turn them in for the month of November for the Harry Potter House Cup. So this is the Nutkin sock, which is spelled just like it sounds, Nutkin. And I'm knitting this on my 9-inch circulars. These are size 0s. Or no, these are size 1s. I prefer my size 0s. I feel like I get a better gauge with them. The sole of the foot is tighter, so it doesn't feel rough on the bottom of my feet. Because I feel like if you don't get that tight enough, then that feels really rough. And I've got a few pairs of socks where the gauge just isn't tight enough and it hurts. You feel like you're walking on rocks. Okay, I'm in the middle of turning a heel. Good job, Rebecca. But you can still see the pattern on here. It's kind of hard to see because of so much is going on. But it's kind of like a little faux cable. You can kind of see it. You can't really see it. See these little bloops? Oh yeah, you can totally see them. You just maybe can't tell what you're seeing. Whatevs. But so here is, I've just done the front on this one because that is all, yeah, look at that. That is all I'm doing on the, as I do toe up, so this is just the top of the bottom of the sock. Top of the bottom. This is just the top of the foot of the sock. So I think it's looking pretty good so far. Yeah, on top of all the computer stuff I've been doing, my eyes have been driving me crazy, and so I'm wearing my glasses, which means you get no eyes and lots of glare, and I'm very sorry about that. There's not a whole lot I can do. I need to see, and there are lights so that you can see me. So, I have paused these for the moment because I started a test knit, which I know I'm like constantly doing test knits, but the nice thing about the Harry Potter House Cup is that there are always people in my house who write patterns, and they're like, hey, do you guys want to test knit this? And I'm always like, I do. I would like to do your test knit. I think this would be my 5th test knit. That sounds rightish. I've done 2 for Prairie Poppins. I did 1 for one of the Nerd Girl knits. This might be 4. I can't think of another one. Yeah, this might be my 4th test knit. But I talked to her and she said I could show it on the podcast, although there's really not much to show yet. So, when I had gone to the Strange Folk Festival in St. Louis, I had bought this We're All Mad Here yarn. Purples and pinks. It mostly just looks pink, but there's lots of dark purples. Kind of scattered throughout. And so far I pretty much just have the toes done because I have not had time to knit. So that's why I should start 2 pairs of socks. That makes total sense. Ha ha ha. Rebecca, no. So there's not a whole lot happening yet, but here's how the yarn looks. Isn't that exciting? It's kind of exciting. But yeah, not crazy exciting, but a little bit exciting. Hopefully I'll have more to show you on both pairs of socks next time. And more sweater, just generally more everything next time would be good, right? I agree. I was watching podcasts today and someone said that I do a monthly podcast, and I was like, no, I do a bi-weekly podcast. And then I looked at how often I've been posting podcasts. I do a monthly podcast. But a monthly podcast is totally something I can keep up with on my new work schedule. And if you get more episodes, that's just even better. Yay! No, I'm sorry. It just is what it is. And honestly, with the amount of knitting I have to show you after a month, I don't know what I would show you if I did a weekly podcast. And there's just one of me. I don't have a gazillion hours to knit. So, I could just be like Karen around the twist. She has fantastic 20-minute episodes. I feel like I learn so much. I mean, she just tosses out random, very useful information like all the time. I need to be like that level of podcaster. I'm like this level of podcaster, but it's okay. Well, I'll grow. We'll learn. She's been doing it for a while, and so I'm not sure exactly how long, but I think she was one of the earlier podcasters. But hers is definitely one of my favorites. Okay, are you ready for my 1FO? I'm gonna zoom this out so you can see. Okay, this FO is huge, and it is longer than the couch I am sitting on. So, I'll show you what I can show you. This is the Rock the Casbah, or Kashbar. I'm not really sure how you say that, but I know. It is huge. It is Moroccan inspired. It is a mega shawl that just goes on forever. I even added a couple of extra rows because I was trying to use up all my yarn. I did not use up all my yarn, but this is about 900 yards. There's a little thing I need to finish tucking in at the top. This was for my broom. So in the House Cup, if you do an Order of the Phoenix mission, it is also called a broom, or an Order of the Phoenix. There's a couple of different ways that is described, just because of the way that you refer to stuff. So, ta-da! What do you think? Is it awesome? I really like it. I haven't actually worn it out of my house yet because I don't know what to wear it with, because it's very Moroccan. I guess I could wear it today. The blue yarn is my own hand spun, and the white yarn is Menos de Uruguay in the Fino color, in the Fino base. And it's very, very pretty. I really like it. Now my hand spun is a little bit scratchy, and I'm not sure if it's because of the way that I spun it or the content. Maybe a little bit of both. And of course, that is what is right by my neck. But I figure, you know, with the right sweater or shirt or whatever, it would be perfect. And I don't have to like stick it up here. I could like drape it. You know, I just gotta figure it out. So it has been washed and blocked. So this is as huge as it's gonna get. It's pretty stinking huge, but I'm really excited about it. I was really happy to finish that broom. So I've been getting a lot of questions about the Harry Potter House Cup, and since I probably won't have very much knitting in December, seeing how this is how much knitting I have going on in November, I'm gonna try and do a pretty cover all the bases House Cup podcast. Explain how everything works in a brief and concise way that's understandable, and then explain anything that didn't make sense in the threads in the group. So if you have big questions, I know I've kind of mentioned this before, but now I definitely am going to be doing it during break month of December. And if you don't know, I'll just fill this in real quick. Harry Potter goes, it plays for 3 months, and then we have a 1 month break, so you can kind of like chill and relax and recoup and that kind of stuff. Like, it's not an all the time thing. That would be super duper intense. And so 3 months on, 1 month off, which means we play January to March, and we are off in April. We play May, June, July, and then we're off in August, and then we play September, October, November, and we're off in December, and it's the same every year, which is really nice and helps you keep track of everything. So since November is about, oh my gosh, halfway through, this is not good, I will be doing the Break Month podcast all about the House Cup and how you can join, or if you don't want to watch, that's totally fine. It's totally one I expect a lot of people to skip. If you're already very familiar with the House Cup, there's no reason for you to watch it. It's going to be a lot of basic information. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just to answer, like, because when you look at it, it's just kind of terrifying. There's a lot of acronyms and a lot of names for things that kind of make sense but don't quite make sense, and what does a class entail? Does that include, like, actually going out and learning something, or how does that work? So, I'll cover all that good stuff, and, you know, if you've got a question, and I will try to answer again, but out loud, all the questions I've seen in the thread. That way, other people might have the same question, but just kind of need to explain a little bit better and out loud. Sometimes that's different. So, you know, that's how that's going to go. I feel like this podcast is 10 minutes long. I really couldn't do a weekly podcast. I really would have nothing to talk about. I don't know, you guys. I hope your lives are good. I hope I hope my American friends are a few weeks away from getting their Thanksgiving turkey on. And I know people do different Thanksgivings in different countries, and I know some people don't do Thanksgiving at all. And like you said, I hope you're looking forward to Christmas. But because these 4 things are all I have, that's all I've got to show you, I can hold all of my projects in 2 hands, which is ridiculous. I need to get back on that horse. So, until next time, whether you are knitting nonstop or you get about 5 minutes of knitting time a week, I'll knit with you. Bye, guys.